The captain who rose with the dust. The story of Ibrahim Traoré of Burkina Faso. In the parched savannas of Burkina Faso, where the wind whispers stories through dry grass and the red earth bears witness to the resilience of its people, a young soldier emerged, not from wealth or royal lineage, but from conviction. His name was Ibrahim Traoré, and his story would come to shape a new chapter in the nation's tumultuous history. Born in 1988 in the city of Bondakwi, in the Muhaun province of western Burkina Faso, Traoré came of age in a country often torn between hope and despair. Burkina Faso, formerly Upper Volta, had long endured waves of coups, economic instability, and external manipulation. But amid these challenges, it was a land of brave people, proud traditions, and the undying dream of sovereignty. Traore'S early life mirrored that of many Burkinabe children. Modest, shaped by struggle, but enriched by family, education, and community. He was known as a quiet boy with a sharp mind, often found reading under a neem tree or helping his elders during planting season. His curiosity was insatiable. Teachers admired his discipline, and neighbors recalled his mature calmness. Even at that age, it seemed destiny had etched leadership into his spirit. Like many young men, Traoré faced a critical choice in his youth: pursue education, flee for greener pastures abroad, or serve. He chose the third. Inspired by the legacy of Thomas Sankara, the revolutionary leader assassinated in 1987, Traoré believed that real change could only come through discipline, sacrifice, and service. He joined the University of Ouagadougou, where he studied geology. Yet even in his academic pursuits, the call to protect his homeland grew louder. Eventually, he joined the Burkinabe Armed Forces, quickly gaining respect for his leadership, humility, and focus. Traoré was not a man of many words. He let his actions echo in the hearts of comrades. He rose through the ranks with quiet consistency, becoming an artillery officer and later captain in the elite Cobra Special Forces unit. This unit was tasked with confronting the jihadist insurgencies plaguing the country. In the remote north and east, he saw firsthand the anguish of displaced villagers, the tears of orphaned children, and the helpless rage of communities left unprotected. These experiences carved a deeper purpose into him. By 2022, Burkina Faso was on its knees. Terrorist groups affiliated with Al-Qaeda and the Islamic State had captured entire regions. Over 2 million people were displaced. Schools were closed. Farmers abandoned their lands. The government seemed paralyzed. Soldiers were dying at the front lines with little support. The country had just experienced a military coup in January 2022, led by Lieutenant Colonel Paul-Henri Sandaogo Damiba, who ousted President Roch Kabore, promising to restore security. But months later, the situation only worsened. Troops on the front lines felt betrayed and ignored. Murmurs of discontent echoed through the barracks. It was not merely political ambition, it was survival. The people had lost faith, and the soldiers had lost patience. In the early days of September 2022, something stirred within the military. Young officers, many in their 30s, began to whisper about change, not for power, but to rescue their people. At the heart of this movement was Captain Ibrahim Traoré. On September 30, 2022, the nation awoke to the thunder of boots and the rumble of armored vehicles. In a swift and bloodless coup, Captain Traoré led the ousting of Damiba. He addressed the nation that night, standing calmly before the Burkinabe flag, his voice firm but unshaken. "We have decided to take our responsibilities, driven by the single desire to restore the integrity of our territory and ensure the dignity of our people." The streets of Ouagadougou erupted in both surprise and cautious hope. Many saw Traoré not as a power-hungry officer, but as one of their own, a young man still in his 30s, battle-worn but unbroken. As the youngest head of state in the world at just 34 years old, Traoré did not immediately bask in titles or privileges. He chose humility over spectacle. Often seen in his military fatigues, refusing excessive ceremony, he embodied Sankara's legacy of modesty. But his mission was formidable. Jihadist attacks persisted. Neighboring countries watched with wary eyes. France, the former colonial power with strong military presence in the Sahel, began to lose favor among a populace frustrated with foreign interference and broken promises. In a bold move, Traoré expelled French troops and diplomats, and strengthened ties with countries like Russia and Mali, seeking alternative security partnerships. His stance earned both admiration and criticism, but in Burkina Faso, it signaled one thing: sovereignty. He rebranded the war on terror not as France's problem, but Burkina's responsibility. He emphasized local defense militias, known as Volunteers for the Defense of the Homeland, VDP, training and arming civilians to protect their communities. It was risky, but necessary in a context where state presence was thin. He toured affected provinces, speaking with elders, warriors, and widows, not from podiums, but under trees and in marketplaces. Captain Traore'S influence transcended borders. As Niger and Mali also experienced military takeovers, the trio began to form a new alliance against terrorism, neocolonialism, and economic dependence. Together, they established the Alliance of Sahel States, AES, a defensive pact aimed at mutual protection and shared development. Across Africa, Traore'S name became a symbol of youth leadership and anti-imperial defiance. Social media in Francophone Africa buzzed with slogans like Le Capitaine du Peuple, the People's Captain, and Afrique s'y réveille, Africa is waking up. He inspired many, not just for his military stance, but for his ideological clarity. Traoré also began promoting self-reliance, encouraging farming, local production, and rejecting aid with strings attached. Schools were reopened in conflict-free zones, and youth programs were launched to fight unemployment and radicalization. Yet leadership is never without shadows. Governing a nation in crisis is like navigating a minefield blindfolded. Some critics argued that freedom of the press was under threat, or that political opposition was stifled. Others questioned the militarization of governance. International sanctions loomed. The economy groaned under the weight of war and global shocks. But Traoré remained steadfast. He acknowledged errors. In one address, he said, "We are not angels. We are humans. We make mistakes. But we will never betray the soul of this nation." What set him apart was his rejection of lifetime rule. He promised to hand over power once stability returned. "Power is not sweet enough to make me betray my principles," he once told a journalist. Whether he will keep that promise remains to be seen, but it reinforced his image as a servant, not a ruler. By mid-2024, Burkina Faso began witnessing some calm in previously terrorized areas. Returnees began rebuilding homes. Farmers returned to their fields. Schools reopened cautiously. But the road ahead remains long. Traore'S leadership is still being tested daily by the gunfire of insurgents, the whispers of politics, and the cries of the people. Still, he walks that road, dusty boots and all, carrying the hopes of millions. In markets, women chant his name. In schools, children study under portraits of Sankara and Traoré, side by side. And in dusty villages, elders say, "Perhaps this one, yes, this one, is the answer to our prayers." Legacy in the making. Ibrahim Traoré's story is far from over. His legacy, like that of every leader, will depend not just on victories, but on how he handles failures, temptations, and time. But in a continent yearning for dignity and leadership that listens, he has already become a symbol of possibility, of resistance, and of African pride. Whether history will remember him as a liberator or a stepping stone depends on the path he continues to walk. But one thing is certain, from the heart of Burkina Faso, a captain rose with the dust, and the world began to watch. Thanks and God bless you for watching. You are more than a viewer, you are loved, cherished, and I pray that your days is blessed with great miracles. Please don't forget to subscribe and share this powerful story of a hero. See you in my next video. I love you all.